Hello, you. It's me. Again. Anyway, I just thought I'd talk a little bit about Pookie here, Amber Lynn Reed, who said the funniest thing that I've ever heard in my life, which is a side effect that decided to happen. Yes, because side effects decide whether they want to happen or not. It's very true. When you get a disease or a disorder and you take medication, the medication and the body decide together, oh yeah, let's do this side effect because this would be funny. I mean, sure, Amber. Okay. Anyway, I just wanted to talk a little bit about her expert, amazing apology to Beck. Man, she really laid it on thick. Didn't she? Didn't she though? Man, you could see the tears in her eyes because she was so remorseful for what she had done to Beck. And how did she apologize? She didn't. That's the funniest thing about it. She says, I take responsibility. I did some bad things. If that's what Beck saw, then I'm sorry she saw it that way. That's her apology. That's it. She takes accountability, but she wouldn't name what she was taking accountability for. So, you're not taking accountability. If you were, you would get far more specific. I hurt Beck. I did bad things to Beck. For example, the choosy game. And here's the thing. I actually am going to... I probably won't read the book, The Boy Called It. What I'll probably do is listen to it on audio. It is for free on YouTube if you want to listen to it as well. But they said that the choosy game comes from that book. And so I was curious. I wanted to know what the book was. I'm not real familiar with the book. I know it's about child abuse, but that's all I'm aware of. But from what I understand, the choosy game was another way of torture. And isn't it strange how Pookie here, who's taking accountability, won't say specifics, including playing that game with at least two of her ex-girlfriends. She did it with Crystal, and she obviously did it with Beck. I don't know about Destiny. I don't know about anyone else. But if she understood the book correctly, that it was about abuse, and she used one of those games on her girlfriends, what does that say about her? I mean, it's bad enough that she is a potential pedo. I can't say she actually is one because I haven't seen any actual evidence of that. She's just very inappropriate around children. And it seems like if she were allowed to take that step, she would. Oh, and also supporting people who are MAPs. Because they can't help who they're attracted to. And that could be true. I don't know much about MAPs. But ew, I wouldn't defend them. It's disgusting. What are you talking about? But then again, this is the same person who was dancing to the gravesite of a young child who had passed away. Excuse me. That was during the Destiny era. So she's just a disgusting human being all the way around. There's absolutely nothing about her that is good, in my opinion. And how she's still walking, I think, is based on the amount of evil that she spreads. That's what's keeping her alive. In my opinion, allegedly. She's really gross. She's gross. She's gross in the way that she doesn't clean. Beck mentioned about all the cat stuff on the bed as well as on the floor. How disgusting. And ew. And I appreciate Beck being very honest and saying, this is when most people would say you should have run in the other direction. And she agrees she probably should have. But she is a person who's kind-hearted and wanted to help. And that to me just speaks so much about Beck. Beck has had their ups and downs, but Beck deep inside is just a really good person and wants to help people and wants to help people do good in their lives. I really respect Beck a lot. And I respect Beck even more now. Now that she is not letting Amber Lynn bully them around anymore. Thank God. That to me is true healing, because Beck isn't afraid of Amber anymore. Beck never needed to be afraid of Amber, but I respect that it takes time to heal. Everybody has their own time frame for that. So, I don't hold that against them at all. I completely understand. I was in a relationship like that myself, and it took me a very long time to heal. In fact, I don't even know after 9 years if I've healed completely, because that relationship absolutely devastated me, and I think it absolutely devastated Beck as well. So I empathize with them on that wholeheartedly. It's a horrible ordeal, and it just ruins you. But seeing Beck now, seeing how they have really accomplished so much and have healed so much and are doing wonderful things in their lives, I can't be more happy for Beck. I think that's wonderful. And Amber is getting what she deserves. Amber has always been a horrible human being. Did she have a rough upbringing? Yes. But I don't think that necessarily contributes to the person she is today. She's just always been horrible, it seems like. And I wonder how long her family will put up with her. But you can see the lies and the deceit in everything she says. She can't even cover it anymore. I don't even know if she cares to cover it anymore. She'd want to because she wants that money. And if people don't like her, and aren't hate watching her, then she's losing a lot of money, which she is apparently. She's not getting any of the views that she used to. It's so way down. And I don't feel sorry for her. At one point in time, I would have, because I could say honestly, well, she's a human being and she deserves to at least have, the basic needs met. But now I don't even know if I believe that anymore. She has been such a horrendous human being. And in psychology, I did study about narcissists and the reason why they end up alone and sad is because of the fact that they treat people so badly. Everybody, doesn't matter who you are, they will treat you badly. They will put you down. They will make you feel like you are less than them so that you will look up to them and admire them. Nobody is going to admire Amber Lynn Reid, and she's now no longer at the top of the hill. She is now starting to come down. Her health has gotten bad. It certainly looks worse. She looks worse. Her health is bad. She doesn't take it seriously. Nobody wants to talk to her except for her mother. And again, I could see where her mother, feeling very guilty about Amber's childhood, would want to try to stick it out with her. But how long is that going to last? Because Amber's mother can see that she's not a great person, I think. I think she sees that. It is her daughter. She loves her daughter. She will always love her daughter. But her daughter is cruel, even to her. And what amazes me is we only see what Amber wants us to see. And even then we can see that she's cruel, that she's a nasty, cold-hearted bitch to her mother, let alone anybody else. How long will her mother put up with that? I don't know. But Amber will lose everything and everyone in her life. She will. She will continuously try to get people into her little web, and it might work for a while, but they will go away too. Everybody will go away because Amber is horrible. It's part of her. I believe personally, my opinion only, because I cannot diagnose her. I believe she's a narcissist, as well as a lot of people. I believe she's a narcissist. And because of her behavior, it's not getting any better. She hasn't changed. Her apology was basically, oh, I'm sorry you felt that way. And she didn't even say, I'm sorry. She said, I apologize that you felt that way. I apologize that we saw our relationship differently. No. It's so funny because everybody sees what Beck was talking about. Nobody sees what Amber's talking about because Amber is blowing smoke. But nobody's taking it. Not anymore. Even I would imagine new people could see how full of shit she is. It doesn't take long. It didn't take long for me. It didn't take long for anybody. And that's just the truth. Amber is a horrible human being. She's not a good person. She may never be a good person because if you are narcissistic, you think you're perfect. So why would you want to change that? Which is why she will never have a good psychologist or psychiatrist. She will never do the things that a doctor tells her to do. She won't do anything because she thinks she knows everything. And she's the smartest person in the world who knows all about her. And she doesn't. That's the funny thing. She doesn't know anything. She doesn't understand anything. Or she would understand how horrible a human being she is and try to change that. She has not grown. She has not changed. Don't believe that because it's not true. And if you don't believe me, just keep watching her. She'll prove that she hasn't changed, that she hasn't grown. She's disgusting. And she truly is a monster. She's very similar to Gypsy Rose Blanchard. The only difference is Gypsy took it a little further than Amber has. But given a choice, we've seen what she did to Rarity. A good person doesn't do that. A good person doesn't threaten an ex-girlfriend and say, I'm going to out you and I'm going to make everybody hate you. But she's tried to do that with every ex-girlfriend she's had. Let's face it. Where's the change? I can't even say she's grown physically because she looks like she's the same size that she has been for years. So even physically, I can't say she's grown. She looks the same. She will always be in the 500 to 600 area. Always. And yeah, I believe she went to 600. I believe she went over that, actually. I don't believe 700, but I think she went a little over 6. But she's always going to be a big girl. She's going to always use that as an excuse. Even though when you're a big person, you can take steps to lose weight. I lost quite a bit of weight. And I really didn't do that much except for walking a little bit every day and changing a few of my eating habits. I didn't even change that much. And I've still lost weight. It doesn't take much to do it. She just won't do it. And when it comes to mental things, I understand. I think all of us understand. We don't like to be told we're wrong or that we've done anything wrong. That's hard to take. But the only way that you're going to heal and get better is if you acknowledge, oh shit, I did something really bad, really wrong. I need to be aware of that so that I can try and change the outcome, change what I do, react to it differently. I've had to take steps like that myself. And for me personally, when I do something and I acknowledge, oh shit, I'm doing that thing I don't want to do, then I explain through it and say, oh, I'm sorry. This is what I do sometimes. This is what I mean by it. I apologize if it came off wrong. Because that way you're explaining, I'm trying to change this. She will never change a thing. She is just going to live her life until she's gone, and everyone else will just move on. She's a headache that will someday go away. And I'm not going to predict when that's going to happen because I don't know. I knew a woman that lived across the street from me when I was a child. Her name is Lou. I'm assuming since she was 60 then, and this was like 40 years ago, she's probably not alive anymore. But Lou was an avid alcoholic and drank constantly all day long. That's all she did, was sit, drink, and eat. And she was a very big woman. She had to have been at least 500. And she was in her 60s when I knew her. And obviously not healthy. Obviously not healthy lifestyle or anything. Her husband did everything for her. And he was also an alcoholic. I didn't know that at the time, but now I know. I was a kid then. What would I know? But she was an alcoholic. She was in her 60s, and she was huge. So people who are really large can live a decent life. I mean, as long as longevity goes, they can live to at least in their 60s. I don't know how long she lived for because she moved away after a bit to go live with her daughter, but or at least family. I know that. It was a long time ago. But so I know that it's possible. So maybe, maybe Amberlynn will live through her 40s or 50s or 60s. Who knows? So it's hard to predict. But is it going to be a happy life? No, it's going to be a very lonely life. And she's going to continue to abuse her pets now and any pets that she may get in the future. She will continue to abuse any people that try to be a part of her life. And this is why narcissists are so hard to treat. When you think you're perfect, you're not going to listen to anyone. I can't imagine being a psychiatrist or a psychologist and trying to treat her. She doesn't even take her medication that she was given. She'll take it for a while and then, I decided not to do it anymore and I feel better. So, she's just going to be alone. And she will eventually die alone. A very miserable, unhappy human being. And honestly, does she deserve it? Yeah. Look at all of the unhappiness that she has spread throughout her life to everybody else. She tries to make them more unhappy than her so that she can feel better. That's disgusting. Anyway, I just wanted to throw out my 2 cents on her and her ridiculousness, her non-apologies. She's just gross. There's nothing about it. She's just gross, and she's getting what she deserves, finally. And that's all I got to say.